Our goal has been to get the people of Fort Morgan on board and say, this place is a great place to build a life. Like throwing a big stone in the lake, that's where it begins, the ripples.
And that's been our strategy the whole time in Fort Morgan, to focus on projects in the same area that bring life back to this downtown core.
For our grand finale, we're gonna tackle side-by-side projects, a park right on Main Street and the street right next to it, Beaver Avenue.
All right, I'm just gonna say it. Fort Morgan's weather is way better than ours.
I'm having a fall moment. Cheers to Fort Morgan.
We are headed to the park to kick off our last community project. This park has existed since 1902, and until recently, it was just known as City Park. But the City Council decided to rename it to honor one of the town's most famous residents, the conductor and 1940s big band superstar,
Glenn Miller.
Glenn Miller, y'all.
You might not know who Glenn Miller is, but you know his music. Should I start tap dancing too?
Glenn Miller moved here as a very young man. He was in the era of all the big bands, so he created his own unique sound. He had his own famous band that was world famous, but he actually started right here in our own little city band in our city park.
For a kid who grows up in a small town, it feels exciting to know you could be anybody and be anything. You could be Glenn Miller someday.
We need to help this town tell that story.
If you don't tell your own story, no one will do it for you. Gotta toot your own horn.
Oh, I see what you did there. We're gonna meet with a few community leaders today. Okay, y'all are a music town. Music is ingrained in this town's DNA. Glenn Miller grew up here.
Yeah.
So, I mean, this is his hometown.
Hometown.
See, that's it. This is Glenn Miller's hometown.
When I grew up here, this park was very, very different. There was a gazebo in the middle, and that's where the Glenn Miller band would perform.
I love it. And y'all do music every Thursday night?
Tonight.
Every Thursday.
It's a tradition that's been since the beginning of our town.
Yeah.
The town is already using the park in a really cool way. It's where they have music events and festivals, but I think they could be doing even more.
I want to talk about something over at the band shell. I mean, you got the grass is so gorgeous out here, but then around the stage, it looks like it's hard to maintain here where people are always trampling it.
It does. It takes some compaction, and we'd love to be able to do something with it.
So here's what we've got to do. We need to give this park an identity that needs to say Glenn Miller Park. Maybe you could have like metal sculptures of saxophone, trombone, and then somehow use musical notes to pay homage to your music heritage. You take your picture inside a frame, but then deep into the part where the amphitheater is, against the stage, we're gonna pour concrete there and then put the name of the park in the concrete pad so that it's branded with this identity in two places.
Y'all like it?
Yeah, it's awesome.
Love it.
Love it.
Great. Who's ready to dig?
Let's do it.
Right
You
here.
got one my size.
I don't shovel, but I supervise.
We do need a good supervisor.
I can tell you how to do it.
In downtown Laurel, we have Leontine Price Park, which is basically just an alley that was turned into a tribute to Leontine Price, Laurel's most famous musical resident. She was an opera singer, and she got the longest standing ovation in Carnegie Hall history. It was like 30 minutes.
Every small town is different. Your town has some significance that everybody else's town doesn't have. Celebrate that. We're getting ready to head back to Laurel, but we're gonna send our designs to the local metal shop. They're gonna get started on creating all the different elements that we need for the new Glenn Miller Park. We got a couple of weeks left until the big party. The metalsmiths are working on the musical notes and frame for the Selfie Station, but we kind of feel like something's missing.
Okay, Ben had this idea to make a wooden sign to tell people how to use this installation. Join the band, take a picture, selfie station, without saying the word selfie. It's a very classic and timeless jazz era font choice. It's very simple, but it needs to be simple. We don't want to take away from what they're taking a photograph of. We just want to nudge them on how to use it. The goal is always, with something like this, to make them take a picture so they share it. The sharing is where we're really interested, because you want to see this picture in someone's photo album. You want to see it posted on their social media. We want to know that they came to Fort Morgan, and this is something that they saw that was special.
Now that the sign has been designed, I'm going to make it out of butcher block. Look at that. I'm going to cut all these strips out. We'll glue them together. The technology here is something that I learned from one of Erin's art school teachers, where this wood glued together will actually be stronger than the joints that Mother Nature gave it. Glue it, clamp it, let it dry good. We'll leave that overnight, come back tomorrow, we'll be ready to work on it. What's up, brother?
How are you today?
I'm good.
All right, is this the board?
This is the board. Of all the things that this sign does, my favorite thing is the call to action. It will encourage people to stop, get out of their car, and take a picture of what they're doing. And who knows, maybe while they're there, they'll decide to, take a few steps over to get some food at Zazzy Cafe, or go shopping at China Grove, or get some ice cream at Mosqueda Delicacies. And that all leads to more time and more money spent in Fort Morgan, and that's key for any town of any size to prosper. Wait, you got the cup?
Yeah.
Pouring the epoxy into the relief is going to make those letters pop. All right, here we go. I'm gonna mix it up.
Step back. I don't have an apron on. This is a little like decorating a cake. That's what it's reminding me of. I'm overpouring. I felt like it was a personal challenge. I needed to see if I could neatly pour the epoxy in small lines.
You couldn't.
And I couldn't. Ooh.
Good call on the black, babe.
Thank you. I wanted it to be easily readable. I love it. I think it looks beautiful. We only have a couple days left until our big celebration, when we're gonna pass the torch back to Fort Morgan. And I just hope that we've done enough to reinvigorate their love for this town. But first, we get to show them the new Glenn Miller Park.
There we go. Join the band, take a photo. You gotta wet the lips.
Do you? Great job.
And nothing like a park in the fall, right?
Right?
Wow, look at that. So good.
Hey, hey!
Oh my gosh! Look at
What do you
this!
So good.
This is
It's good, huh?
amazing! Wow.
We named your baby. It's Glenn Miller Park.
Oh, it's wonderful.
Yeah. It's still important that we teach our kids why the people who are from where we live matter. It helps them believe that they can do great things too. So then we thought, by adding some visual element, it feels intentional. It pays homage to your music heritage.
It's just spectacular. You know, you're driving down the street and you go, whoa, what is that? Once we get people to stop their car, get out and walk around the park, walk down the main street,
Yeah.
look at the new stuff.
It's almost like a town square now, This is the heartbeat. The rhythm of our community just spreads out from this park now and flows through our main street. It's awesome.
We'll post these pictures, hashtag join the band.
Hashtag Glenn Miller Park. And that was the whole intent, to give you moments that are photographable, so then your visitors become billboards for your town.
I just think it's spectacular.
Y'all wanna see the rest of it?
Let's do it. It was tough staring down the barrel of 18 projects in 4 months.
There are aspects of this that were the hardest thing that we've ever done.
But nothing great
Is easy.
is easy.
I mean, it takes a literal village of contractors, woodworkers, landscapers.
And an amazing design team here that was led by Mary, who has been incredible to work with.
They have what they need. We've shown them how to implement it. They've just got to work it now. Look out! Fort Morgan, Colorado! You are incredible!
Over these 4 months, we have seen how much you all love this town.
We love you too!
Oh, thanks, we love you too! Oh!
And we could not have done any of this without y'all's help.
You all showed so much community spirit.
Now it's time for us to hand the torch back to you all.
And before we go, we wanted to take a moment to say,
Thank you, Fort Morgan, Colorado.
look out!
All right, let's get this party started. Oh, there she is. I just love seeing the people that have come out today. The pride in Fort Morgan, the enthusiasm for their town. You can feel it.
You got to think of your town as a team, that team you pull for no matter what. And they're out here supporting their town.
This is a weekday.
This is a Tuesday night.
I just cannot really honestly believe how our community has been transformed. And for somebody who was born and raised here, I mean, when you think about rural communities drying up, we're not drying up. We're flourishing. And you've been that spark behind that. So thank you.
I mean, we've created such wonderful habits in such a short amount of time.
Yes.
We have weekly meetings now with our city officials.
So don't stop doing that.
Do not stop.
Yeah, it would definitely be a lot easier to throw in the rag and go work for a company who pays a lot more and offers a lot more benefits. But I really do love our community. I love the people in it. And I love that I can be a part of making somebody's life a little bit better.
Thank y'all for all your hard work.
I've had the opportunity to do some traveling, and coming home is like going to grandma's. It just gives you that feeling from inside that says, this is where I belong, this is home.
It couldn't have been more timely that HGTV came to town. It helps us believe in ourselves. It's helping us to see, hey, we do have potential.
I think they're so fired up now, they have new ideas that they haven't thought of before, that they feel like they have the power to accomplish.
I think the best is yet to come for our community. We just need to, stand together and make it work. We need to keep the momentum going and have confidence that we can take whatever happens next.